welcome to This Week at the Movies with the How Could You podcast.
We're your hosts, Lauren and Ryan, and this week we are covering Joker, Folie, Deux, directed by Todd Phillips and starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. Ryan, what did you think of Folie, Deux?
There's been a lot of discussion about this movie.
Yes.
All mostly negative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in that camp.
Oh, no. A contrarian.
I like it. I don't know what to say. Listen, I get why people don't like the movie.
Sure.
That's not a problem with me. I don't get the hate.
Okay.
To me, Todd Phillips, I just want to applaud him. He went out and he just did something unique and different, and he took a chance, and I love it for it. I just think it is not perfect, but I just think it was a really interesting take on a comic book movie. We've been watching comic book movies, really good ones, since 1999, right? Like, and
89
yeah, I mean, and, you know, it's just one of the things is we felt like some things have been stale, and he's doing something unique with the genre. And this was, yeah, he took a shot. It's not going to be for everyone. I mean, it's more of a courtroom romance musical than what we're used to, than maybe the character study that the first one was, this dramatic character study. But there's a lot to like about it. There's a lot of interesting stuff. And it worked for me.
I'm going to contradict you on something. Yeah. I don't think it's just as deep of a character study. So I, too, loved this. I went in ready to go. I am going to buy kind of all of the vitriol that's being spit online. I was ready to go. This is a silly follow-up to a film that I didn't really attach onto. I cannot pretend that I was a fan of his first incarnation of Joker. It didn't necessarily work for me. I understood why people liked it. I think I fell into that camp of going, this feels like a weird celebration of incels, but I thought Joaquin Phoenix's performance was really interesting and dynamic, and I also thought some of the direction was pretty cool on that. I firmly thought there was a point that film should have ended, and when he didn't do that, I was pretty like, okay, I don't know that we stuck this. This I found really fascinating. Yes, it needs about 30 minutes cut out. It's also, one of the things I've been hearing a lot about is, like, it doesn't go big enough or wide-ranging enough in the vocal performances. And my answer to that is, yeah, but she's not Lady Gaga. She's Harley Quinn. Like, there's a fantasy that's happening here, but also...
Lee Quinzella?
Harleen Quinzel. But I really enjoyed it. I found it to be a profoundly ballsy take on the follow-up to, well, he made himself into this figure for the disenfranchised. And then this is a film reckoning with the legal ramifications of this. It's a character study in the sense of, does this person actually want to be this myth that everyone has built him up to be? And without spoiling it, I think it takes a really interesting turn. I would get, if you really love the Joker, why you don't like this movie. But I like that Todd Phillips went, nope, this is the natural next step for the story. This is my vision as a filmmaker. You may not have understood it the first time around, and I don't care if you understand it the second time around. This is what I think this character should be.
Yeah, I mean, there is an interesting aspect. Like, well, who is this movie for? I mean, it is...
I think it's for me!
It feels like a little bit of a niche, really... our nephew who went with us, Phoenix, he used the term after it. It was cinematic.
Yeah.
I couldn't say more that was spot on and completely describes what he was doing here. It's just a really great done, really well done film. And like you said, a little too long, could shave some things off, but you and I aren't going to complain about that. Everyone's heard our podcast. We can probably shave off about 20 minutes of every show.
We don't even edit these short reviews. But I also think, there is an element of, this is being discussed, I think, right now a lot about fan culture. How much ownership are we to have over a creative story, and how much is our own expectation getting in the way of us enjoying film? I think there is a way in which that this film coming out very closely to Megalopolis feels super interesting to me in terms of directors taking very big swings. Maybe they don't work. This worked for me. I thought this was interesting. I liked the musical performances. I liked being stuck inside their heads. I found interesting. I also liked when we came outside of that and the world that we were inhabiting. I found it interesting and dark and strange and kind of nihilistic and pretty depressing in the end. But I found that to be a really apt follow-up to what he did in his first film. But I also get why it doesn't work for everyone.
I think it really works within what the universe he built. I think that's the thing. It doesn't feel like this major departure that I think some people are saying. In a time that people are complaining too much about, we have too much of the same, this is something that took a chance and was unique, and I think we should really celebrate that. I do want to ask, though,
Yeah.
a couple of different titles for the film. Ha Ha Land.
Actually should have been the title.
Natural Born Jokers.
Oh my god, that's great.
The Arkham Redemption. Just throwing them out there, but hey, one of those I think I actually heard. The other two, but
unique too.
Unique. But
Hashtag haha land. Let's make it a thing.
let's make it a thing.
I really enjoyed this. I think this is a film about consequences, and I think sometimes, like, as film viewers, when we build up an anti-hero, we don't want the consequences of this, and I think Todd Phillips said, deal with it, audience, and for that, I will applaud him for taking this swing.
100%.
And until next time, to Roger and Jean.
To Roger and Jean.